Hello students, this is the second session of second unit from class 9th Information Technology, and in this session we understand about the parts of computer system. So a computer is an electronic device that can store and process information. So computer can store and also process the information. For storing the information we need to input information into system. Computers help perform a variety of tasks such as receiving and sending messages to family and friends, making presentations and maintaining records. Computers are also used in education, research, broadcasting news, making weather forecasts, and for various other businesses and recreational activities. For all of these tasks, we must understand the parts of computer which include or which are helpful to perform all the tasks or which are necessary. It means without these parts we cannot complete the above tasks. So let's see what are the parts of computer. So a computer has various parts and each part performs a specific function. So this table describes the parts of computers. So first there are lots of parts in computer. So let's see one by one. Very first is input devices, then output devices, then CPU. After CPU we will understand about motherboard, then expansion card, then storage device, then ports and connections. So these are the topics. So our very first topic is input devices. As you can see the picture in screen, input devices are used to provide information to a computer, such as typing a letter or giving instructions to a computer. Some examples of input devices are as follows. So our very first input device is mouse. A standard mouse has a left and right button. You can see this is the left button and this is the right button. We use the left button to select items and provide instructions by clicking an active area on the screen. And we use the right button to display commonly used menu items on the screen. So there are two buttons and there are two different uses. So two types of mouse. First mouse that we used at early times, it is a mechanical mouse, and at present we use optical mouse. In optical mouse LED light emitter is used to run the mouse pointer on the screen. After mouse, the second important input device is keyboard. So a set of keys that resembles a keyboard on a typewriter. We use the keyboard to type text such as letters or numbers into a computer. So we can see in a keyboard all alphabets are available, then numbers are available, signs are available, function keys are available, numeric pad is also available here. This is numeric pad, and here these are function keys, then these are alphabets, and these are the numbers and icons. This is space, and here control, shift, caps lock, tab button, enter button. So there are lots of keys are available to perform the task or for input the data into the computer. After keyboard we use microphone. Microphone is a device that we can use to talk to people in different parts of the world. We can record some sound into a computer by using a microphone. and we can also record our speech and let the computer convert into the text. So we can also use mouse to record our speech and computer can convert the speech into the text. After microphone, the next input device is scanner. Scanner is a device that is similar to a photocopy machine. It means it can convert the hard copy into the soft copy. So we can use this device to transfer an exact copy of the photograph or document into our computer. A scanner reads a page and translates it into a digital format that a computer can read. For example, we can scan photographs of our family using a scanner, or we can also scan documents, any documents through the scanner. After scanner, next input device is webcam. You can see the picture of webcam here. So webcam is a device that is similar to a video camera. It allows us to capture and send live pictures to other users. For example, a webcam allows our friends and family to see us when we are communicating with them. Then next input device is stylus. It is a pen or a pointing device similar to a pen. We used it to make selections and enter information by tapping on a touch sensitive surface. For example, to enter information on a personal digital assistant PDA, we use a stylus. A PDA is a lightweight palm top computer, or we can also use stylus in touchscreen laptops, smartphones, and also in tablet. Then the next input device is trackball. Trackball is a pointing device and it is an alternative to a mouse. A trackball consists of a ball that is rotated to move the pointer on a computer screen. We can use a trackball when we have limited desk space. So if we have limited desk space, so we can not move mouse all around. Therefore we use at that time trackball so that we can work with in a limited space also. After trackball, now understand about the output devices. So output devices we use to get feedback from the computer after it performs a task. Means after performing task, computer give us result through the output devices. There are three types of output devices, and in this picture we can see the output devices are printer, monitor, and speaker and projector also. These are the output. The projector is similar to monitor. So let's start with monitor. Here you can see the picture of a monitor. Monitor is a device that is similar to a television and it is used to display information in visual form using text and graphics. After monitor, our next output device is printer. So printer can change our soft copy into a hard copy. So printer is a device that we use to transfer text and images from a computer to a paper or to another medium such as transparency film. We can use a printer to create a paper copy of whatever we see on our monitor. So whatever we see on our monitor, we can convert or we can take the printout in a paper copy of that screen. After printer, next output device is speaker, and speaker is a device that allows us to hear sounds. Speakers may either be external or inbuilt into the computer. Mostly we can use monitor as an external, and sometimes it is built in our laptop, but for desktop we have to attach it externally. Now next topic is central processing unit. You can see here central processing unit. So this is the picture of central processing unit. So a central processing unit is a device that interprets and runs the commands that we give to a computer. So whatever command we give to a computer, that interprets and run by the central processing unit or CPU. It is the control unit of a computer. The CPU is also referred to as a processor. So we can see here the picture of processor. Here you can see how processor installed into motherboard or attached into motherboard. After processor, the very important part of our computer, that is RAM or random access memory. You can see the picture of RAM. It is a main memory and allows us to temporarily store commands and data. The CPU reads data and commands from RAM to perform specific tasks. RAM is volatile, which means it is available only while the computer is turned on. The contents of RAM must be copied to a storage device if we want to save the data in the RAM. If we not copy the contents of RAM into a storage device, then we lose that data. So whenever we work in our computer or in our smartphone, the RAM holds the data that is used to perform specific tasks. After shutdown of computer, the RAM will lose his memory. Then we can see the next picture is of read-only memory. So read-only memory is the permanent memory, or we can say that it is the memory that remains or that retains its contents even after the computer is turned off. ROM is non-volatile or permanent memory that is commonly used to store commands, such as commands that check whether everything is working properly or not. Or we can say that the commands that are necessary to start or run the computer are saved in RAM. Here we can see the picture of RAM. This is attached with motherboard, and when we not attached, it looks like this. We can also compare RAM and ROM from the picture. Then our next topic is flash memory. Flash memory is a non-volatile memory that retains data even after a computer is turned off. Like ROM, we can erase or modify stored information. So these are pen drives, memory cards. Then we see the motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board inside a computer. It has tiny electronic circuits and other components on it. The motherboard connects input, output and processing devices together and tells the CPU how to run. So it has lots of ports that are used to connect input, output and other processing devices. In this picture you can see this is the slot of RAM, read-only memory. Here this is processor, and the ports are here. Through these ports we can connect monitor, mouse keyboard and other external devices or other parts of computer. All the cards that are related to video or sound are also connected to this motherboard. So after motherboard, our next topic is expansion cards. Expansion cards or expansion card is a circuit board that can be attached to a motherboard to add features such as video display and audio capability to our computer. An expansion card improves the performance of our computer and enhance its features. Expansion cards, also called expansion boards. Some types of expansion cards are described as, the very first is our video card. So it is connected to a computer monitor and is used to display information on the monitor. So with the help of we use video card to display information on the monitor. After video card, the NIC or network interface card. NIC card allows a computer to be connected to other computers so that information can be exchanged between them. So for creating network, we use network interface card. Then after we use sound card. So sound card converts audio signals from a microphone, audio tape or some other source to digital signals, which can be stored as a computer audio file. Sound cards also convert computer audio files to electrical signals, which we can play through a speaker or a headphone. And we connect microphone and speakers to a sound card. So here you can see ports are given where we can connect our headphone or speakers. Then let's understand about some storage devices. So we use storage devices to store computer information. Storage devices came in many forms. Some examples are hard drive or disk, CD-ROM, floppy disk and DVD-ROM. Storage devices can be divided into two types. First is internal storage device and second is external storage device. Some common storage devices are given here. So let's understand. First is hard disk. You can see here a hard disk. This is 2000 GB, means 2 TB hard capacity. This hard disk have. So hard disk are magnetic disk. Hard disk is a magnetic disk that is usually the main storage device on most computers, and it can be external or an internal also. Then we'll see the floppy disk. Floppy disk is a portable storage device and it allows us to store a small amount of data. A disadvantage of this disk is that it can be easily damaged by heat, dust or magnetic fields. So floppy disk is not too much useful, therefore we cannot use it as present. The CD tape or CD-ROM or DVD-ROM cover the absence of floppy disk. Then memory cards are placed in the place of CD-ROM and DVD-ROM. So floppy disks are not so much useful because of so much reliable, because of it can be easily damaged by heat, dust or any magnetic field. Then let's understand about the CD-ROM. So CD-ROM is a portable storage medium that allows us to store 400 times more data than floppy disk, and it is less prone to damage than a floppy disk. So the chances of damaging is very less and the capacity is too much when we compare a CD-ROM to a floppy disk. After CD-ROM, we will understand about the DVD-ROM. So DVD-ROM is a portable storage medium and it is similar to CD-ROM. However, it can store larger amounts of data than a floppy disk or a CD-ROM. A DVD-ROM is commonly used to store movies and videos. So we can mostly use DVD for movies and videos, and CD-ROM is also used to store movies and videos at early time. Then ports and connections. So let's see. A port is a channel through which data is transferred between input output devices. So again I repeat that a port is a channel through which data is transferred between input and output devices. And the processor. There are several types of ports that we can use to connect a computer to external devices and networks. Some types of ports are described in here. So let's see. Very first port is USB port or Universal Serial Bus port. The full form of USB is Universal Serial Bus. We use this to connect peripheral devices such as mouse, modem, a keyboard or a printer to a computer. So we use these ports to connect peripheral devices as a mouse, modem or a keyboard or a printer to a computer. After USB port, our next port is FireWire, or our next connections, our next wire that we use to connect, this is FireWire. So we use FireWire to connect devices such as digital camera or printer also. It is faster than the USB. After FireWire, our next port is network port. So we use network port to connect a computer to other computer to exchange information between the computers. So by using network port we can exchange information between two or more computers, or for creating network we use network port. After network port there are two more ports, that are parallel port and serial port. You can see the pictures here, parallel port and serial port. So we use these ports to connect printers and other devices to a personal computer. We use these ports to connect printers and other devices to a personal computer. However, the USB port is now preferred to connect peripheral devices because USB port is faster and easier than these parallel and serial ports. Then next is our display adapter. So we connect the monitor to a display adapter on our computer. The display adapter generates the video signal received from a computer and send it to a monitor through a cable. The display adapter may be on the motherboard or on an expansion card. So display adapter can be possible that it will be on a motherboard, or it be on a motherboard or an expansion card. Then the power cable, or about the power. So a motherboard and other components inside a computer are use direct current, and a power supply takes alternating current from a wall outlet and converts into DC power. So these are our computer's parts. So watch this video one more time so that you can easily remember these parts and their functions. Thank you.